Love you, John. Tonight on Dave and John TV.
It's John and Dave TV.
All right, welcome to another episode of John and Dave TV. And Dave, we've had tons of stuff going on lately. It's actually, at the time of filming, it's actually really hot out there today. Like,
Yeah.
I was steaming, I was sweating.
It's actually been a really hot summer. Probably one of the warmest summer I've felt in a very long time. Oh, it feels that way. I don't know.
Exactly.
I should know this answer being the weather guy for your TV or for Cogeco News, but it definitely has been kind of a warm summer this year.
Well, one thing I know that's cooled me down a lot is after work, you go home, you sit by the pool, get a nice drink. So
Yeah.
today's guest, I think, really kicks into something like that.
sure.
Where and I know personally, I've been wanting to get this on the air for a long time because this is something that I enjoy because I'm actually a customer of this person. So, so why don't you introduce our guest for today?
Sure. So today we have Andrew Kenny from OKenny Craft Spirits on the
Yes.
show. Welcome to the show, Andrew.
Thanks.
Glad to have you here. So tell us a little bit more about Andrew and where you're from and what got you into this. And
So I grew up in Beachburg. I went to school in Pembroke. If you go way back, I think you said, I can mention things about the history.
Mm-hmm.
So my history came from Ireland, and it was about 1840. John and Margaret Kenny came from Ireland, and they came from a county called County Fermanagh. Okay. County Fermanagh is 2 counties south of County Antrim. And County Antrim is where the distillery, the Bushmills Distillery is. So all my family were farmers, so it's quite likely that they were producing the crops that went to Bushmills Distillery. So I didn't know this until I started researching distilleries and everything maybe 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, it's cool when you see the history because I'm part Irish myself, and I actually found out back in Kilkenny, Ireland, there's a castle that we used to own apparently called the Butler Castle, which
Really?
eventually in the 1930s was given to the town of Kilkenny. It's now called the Kilkenny Castle, but apparently my ancestors owned that. So
Oh, my
very
family's
cool.
boring because we don't own anything. We don't have any background.
So tell us more about now. Okay, so now bring it to the Ottawa Valley here. So tell us more about Andrew himself.
So I was a dairy farmer
Okay.
I grew up on a dairy farm, and like I say, all my family's been farmers all the way along. So as a dairy farmer, I had to give up my dairy farm because of bad hips. I had 3 surgeries, so I wanted to get into something that was still with agriculture. And it was about 4 years ago. I had brought out a product for dairy farms. It was a watering product for dairy cattle. And I'd had it patented, and I took it to shows, and I was selling it, and I still sell it through North America. And I was at a farm show, and I was talking to the president of the local NFU, the National Farmers Union, and I said, why are there so many farms in Renfrew County that are they're being bought by someone as a hobby farm, and then there are no crops being taken off. They're just letting the hay grow up, and it's kind of a shame. And I said, why are not more farms being rented by the big cash croppers?
Yeah.
And do you know why the reason is?
No.
Well, it's because when you ship something like a big product like bulk grains, it costs so much to ship it to the main sources where they're buying it that they lose all the profit. So we said to each other, well, we kind of laughingly said, can't we make something locally with our grain and sell it to the people locally? And we kind of chuckled and said, what are we going to do, make bread? And that went 2 years before I got the idea. I was sitting at a friend's place, and we brought out a bottle, and we looked at the bottle, and at the back of the bottle it explained what was made from. And it was rye, and it was barley, and it was wheat, and it was corn.
Yeah.
So that we grow it all here.
Exactly. That makes sense.
So it makes sense. Why are we buying spirits like whiskey and vodka and gin and rum? Why are we buying it from these big distilleries far away?
Yeah.
Renfrew County loves drinking spirits, but why are we not making our own? So I thought I had to do it.
That's a great idea. I typically, like as a person, I typically grab a drink from everywhere I've been. If you look at I call it my cellar, but it is a cellar. It's kind of more of a cold storage room nowadays. But anyways, there's a whole shelf on there from drinks from different areas, different of everyone I've been, like everywhere I've been, I think it's like a staple. You know, people say, well, you know, I have this from this place, this from that place. It kind of brings you back to memory. And I don't have them from OKenny yet. I haven't tried OKenny yet.
John has lots.
Yes.
You should go to his place.
So,
Oh no, you should come to me and get some.
Exactly.
so let's talk about the process. You know, how, so how did you get to distilling alcohol? How did you learn how to do it? Or is it kind of a whole bunch of trials and error, gets a whole bunch of friends to see if it works or not? Or
Well, I did it differently than a lot of the small distilleries. First of all, I learned how to do it online. Imagine
Okay.
that. Then I found someone that was doing it. He's got more experience than almost anybody in Ontario with a small distillery. And I have to give a shout out to Don DeMonte from Last Straw Distillery in Vaughan. So we learned everything there. He's now, I think he's even said he's learned some things from me as far as marketing goes.
Oh, cool.
So I learned everything about making it. Basically, you know, you can find this out. And when I went to actually go make my first spirit, I set the bar really high and I made a single malt whiskey.
Okay.
And that was back, now we're looking at almost a year and a half ago. And that single malt whiskey, we decided because we made more liquid than we had barrels available, we had half a barrel of this single malt whiskey without a barrel to put it in.
Okay.
So I thought, what am I going to do with this? And I've been explaining to people that Moonshine is basically a whiskey that hasn't been put in a barrel yet.
Okay.
So we sold it as a moonshine, and it's a very rare single malt moonshine. And when I first brought it out at the Ottawa Valley Craft Beer Show back in October of last year, we got the first 12 advanced bottles the night before the show. And we had been telling people that this stuff was going to be a little harsh. We had already been selling a really, really ultra smooth vodka.
Okay.
And now this was going to be the opposite. It was going to be 99 proof, strong. And
Take the paint off your car.
and it was made with 100% barley. So it was going to be basically, it's going to really show you what a strong, you know, and we called it No Apologies.
Yes.
So we brought it out. I tasted it once before that show. We brought it out. It was the most popular thing at that show, and everybody said it was the smoothest moonshine they had ever tasted. And we only had a small amount. We only had about 300 bottles, and we priced it higher because it was rare,
Yeah.
and it sold out.
Very
Oh,
cool. I've never
cool.
had moonshine. So.
I have
you?
on my bachelor party. I definitely have moonshine. And the moonshine actually ended up more in the fire pit because it tasted terrible. So we ended up tossing it more in the fire pit, trying to make it better fire than actually drinking
So you're
it.
gonna have to taste his now.
You know what? Now I'm very curious, and I kind of want to try his. Do you still produce the moonshine, or is it something you got
Well,
away
we can
from?
we
or-
can produce it anytime. So we made, like I said, we made 4 barrels of this single malt whiskey. So it's aging right now, and we only had half a barrel of the moonshine, and it sold out quickly. So we have people now asking us, when will you make it? And I swear, I think there's 3 people per day ask me.
Wow.
So we're going to make it in the fall when we have our distillery up and running, hopefully. And I've never expected that much reaction to something that was basically a little bit of a mistake. Essentially, we made 4.5 barrels, and we
Yeah.
only had 4 barrels. So that
Wow.
half a barrel, it tells us right now that if it tastes that good before you even put it in a barrel, and a barley whiskey shouldn't taste that good without being barreled.
Really.
So if it tastes that good and people are like asking for it,
Yeah.
imagine what those barrels right now are a year and a half old, and we've already sold almost the first barrel completely without
Yep.
even, and it's far in advance. People have to wait for a year and a half, and we've got people that have bought most of that first barrel.
And I have been telling my wife about it, and I just gotta get the permission to get the old checkbook out there.
So you make rye. We have rye here, or whiskey. You make vodka. You make moonshine. What else do you make? Because I guess our pre-talk, I learned you make quite a bit of stuff.
Like gin too.
Well, what we want to do is we want to make everything that you see at the LCBO. We want to make it all. We want to make it focused on what people want. So when we made that, we went to the people. We spent 13 months. This is before we ever even made our vodka, and we asked them, at first we said, what kind of whiskey do you like? And they gave us these names, all the different brands. And then we thought, well, okay, now we're going to put things out and they're not going to know what they are. And we would put 4 drinks out, 4 Canadian rye whiskeys out. And people would say, this is my favorite. Well, they would be in there. And they would pick a different one as their favorite.
Yes.
Some people would pick the one they'd say is their favorite and they buy it all the time and they would pick it last. Right. So we thought blind taste testing is a way to get people's true opinions. So we do everything that way. We spent 13 months. We found out which of the 15 most popular rye whiskeys that are sold in Renfrew County. And we took them 5 at a time to people all over the valley, and we had them pick their favorite and their least favorite. So we were able, after 13 months, over 850 taste tests to find out which ones tasted the best. We were surprised that some of the very best selling, the best brand names, were picked as their least favorite quite a bit. When it's a blind taste test, you don't know that bottle.
Yeah, correct.
You don't know what you're tasting.
Well, I like my whiskey. People know that. I used to do I used to do like my Ryan Cokes and stuff, but I found with putting Coke in that with it, I started getting heartburn a lot, the sugar and all that stuff. So I just started doing it straight on the rocks. And I do the main brands, and then I got onto yours, and I will say it's very smooth for people who drink whiskey. It is it goes down smooth. It's good flavor to it. I enjoy it myself. I'll just sit there outside and have just on the rocks like that. So
I used to drink Scotch also all the time. I used to be part of Scotch clubs in Ottawa and go to Scotch tastings, but then anyways, I end up having stomach problems and just too many heartburns and I have to get away from it. So I'm
he can't
do
Scotch.
Now,
he's Irish. He can't do Scotch. So I'm just bugging.
No, we can't make Scotch. We can make something a little better.
Yeah, there you go. So tell us more about the distillery too, because I know your goal is to have everything done here in the valley. So tell us more about your distillery, where you're getting it from now, and how you're planning on trying to bring it into
Well, like I say, the whole idea is to actually use the crops that are grown locally.
Yes.
So we've already sourced a local corn farmer that will be able to drive his combine and essentially unload his load of corn right into our bunker. And we'll get photographs of that and video and say, this is how close the corn comes for OKenny, and it'll be our Moonshine or our vodka that's made with corn. But we can't do it right now. We're still distilling in Vaughan at the Last Straw Distillery. So we have to build our distillery. Yeah. And we're hoping to do that this fall.
And then you'd be basically the only distillery in the Ottawa Valley.
The Ottawa Valley, yes. Closest one would be Almont.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it's still pretty cool though, because even though he's still going to Vaughan, he's still Ontario. It's all basically everything's Ontario made that you're using, which is great. So now this is what we've always been talking about, the whole premise of this show. Of course, COVID hit with a bang back in March, and so a lot of businesses had to close down. A lot of have actually closed down for good, unfortunately. What's kept you going? Like, how did you brace that storm?
The storm hit us from a different angle. The storm hit us with 400 messages and calls in a single day asking us if we made hand sanitizer. And I couldn't explain to people, everyone that called or sent messages, that we weren't producing it ourselves yet. So I said, everything we get is from another distillery, and he got inundated. So everybody wanted hand sanitizer, so we had to switch gears. They call it pivoting. We pivoted, we were making something, we joke about it, it's basically for external use only, the hand sanitizer. And we have to put that on the product. And when we came out with the next product after that, that was, our rum, we said we were going to jokingly put for internal use only. So people say, well, why is alcohol, why is it the same hand sanitizer? So essentially it starts with ethanol. And you can either put some additives that make it good for your hands and keep them without getting chapped and make it undrinkable, or you can make it into a product that tastes great. So we decided we would do both. And do both at the same time. So we had many customers come in, buy hand sanitizer, buy whiskey and vodka. So they were looking after themselves on
cool.
the inside and the outside.
Exactly. Because I guess with all the people in the forefront, the workers that had to work during COVID, hopefully you were able to supply some to them, those people too, because I know it was shortage here in town. You go anywhere, you couldn't find hand sanitizer at all. So did that help out maybe with like the hospitals things? Were they taking the sanitizer from you? Or?
Yes, I mean, we got calls from hospitals all over Ontario. Everybody was desperate.
Yeah.
And we were waiting for our NPN number, so our natural product number from Health Canada. And we were waiting, it was agonizing. People were calling and asking for this, and we were waiting for it. And we had the ingredients that we needed to make it, but we couldn't make it until we got that number. And the day that we made it, the first day was the 13th of April. And it was crazy. We had lineups and everything, and we said we finally have some. It was chaotic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bet.
So it's good too, because you think about it, with the frontline workers, he was able to take care of them during the day, and then at nighttime they can have the rest of his products to take care of them at nighttime too. When you look at it, I think we should try the product myself.
Sure.
I think we should have a little taste if
we have
he's
time.
willing to. I think we have time.
Oh yeah.
As long as he's willing to let us try one.
So do I do the product shot?
Yeah,
this way?
where do you want the product shot there?
Okay.
Right over here? I think on the
Oh, there we
camera
go.
over here. Right there, and eventually it'll be, oh, there we go. That's the one I like. So
Rye
I'm
whiskey.
gonna pretend I've never tasted
It's in
it
our
before.
special bottle that's reusable. So we have it's kind of a unique flip top.
Yeah, I love that.
So we've got ice in here for you.
Now, I actually meant to bring, and I forgot, I actually have from the past, I have 2 bottles that I have to bring back to him, because I don't know if you still do it, but I know at one point what he was doing was you bring the bottles back, and part of the proceeds at that time was going, I think, to the OSPCA or something you were doing at one point. So, I mean, a lot of the stuff he does is for the community as it is. So.
Well, it made no sense to me what's going on right now in the distillery industry, that you make a beautiful bottle, and some of them are fantastic, and you use them one single time, and then they get smashed into little bits, and they get shipped away, far, far away, and to be recycled and made back into a bottle.
Yeah.
You know what we do with beer bottles, we reuse them. Well, this kind of a bottle right here is much easier to reuse.
Yeah.
So we take our bottles back. We pay people that are our customers $1.50 for each bottle that they bring back. And then they can take the money and they can put towards like the OSPCA, or our first vodka came out, and all the bottles, all the proceeds went back to the United Way fund for after the flood. So it's a good way to earn money and keep the money in our pockets in our community, instead of me writing a big check over and over and over to the bottle company.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Which is far, far away.
Definitely.
We keep all the money locally. So even if we start selling this abroad, like let's say in Ottawa, people can keep the money in whatever community that they're buying it.
That's awesome. Really good.
Pretty neat.
Yeah.
So tell me about it. So what are we about to taste, and what should we expect? You want to try it, John?
So I'll hand it.
I don't think we'll be able to drink all of this, but
Keep the distance.
I love the glasses.
Well, you know, the show always comes to an end soon.
And I did hand sanitize with
Yeah.
OKenny hand sanitizer just before. So
Even the
Oh.
aroma.
It smells good.
You'd think I was a whiskey connoisseur or something. Oh, that's good. That's nice
really
and
smooth.
It
Yeah,
is.
that went down
we
really easy.
do have people coming 7.5 hours for tasting the whiskey.
Well, the one thing I find with whiskey is a lot of times, a lot of them are very strong that first couple sips until it gets watered down by the ice or whatever.
Yeah.
Yours right away is just nice, smooth, goes down, the flavor. You think it's like an alcohol show here now. I like it. I think it's amazing. I better put it up there till after. They won't get waste. Don't worry about that. So no, I like it. Now tell us more about other products. Like you sell shirts in there, you sell hats. You got promotion going on too right now. Why don't you tell us about that promotion, the photo promotion and things like that?
Oh, the photo promotion. So that was great. We just ended it. We picked a winner.
Oh, okay.
The winner. I'm just trying to think of her first name.
We put them on the spot here a little bit.
Well, she's
Okay, I do this all the time. That's why your name's written on the board.
oh, it's Heather Job.
Okay.
So you know
I know
Heather
Heather.
from the
Yes.
USPCA. Yep.
Awesome job, Heather.
So she snuck in as awesome picture with a dog and
I
our
did
new
see
product,
that.
which is Risky, the last day of the contest, and she won.
It was
And
a gorgeous
great.
picture. I do remember seeing it too. Yeah, the dogs were sort of in the background splashing around, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Nice golden color, dark. It was really cool. Liked it.
So when we do a contest, we use a prize that's local. So our prize was from Esprit Rafting, and it was half a day at their resort. Basically, they've got a new feature there, which is an inflatable slide island. So they've got 3 huge slides on it, and you're allowed 10 people on it for 45 minutes, and then the rest of that half day that you're there, you spend on canoes or paddle boards or whatever. So Heather's going to have to get 8 friends together or 9 friends, and
Hi, Heather.
go enjoy it.
Yeah, no, that's
awesome.
awesome. Yeah, he's good at doing that for the community and bringing community stuff in with his business. I love that.
So we've been doing this since the start of the show, since show number 1. In the last few minutes of the show, we always talk about the same thing. We're still in the COVID pandemic. We're still under phase 3. Well,
Yep.
phase 3 just started
Yep, not too long ago. We heard about how you adapted and started making hand sanitizer, but how was your business affected, and how did COVID impact your business?
Like I say, I was one of the few businesses. I guess there was a lot of businesses that had some backspin, benefits. So we were one of those. So we were quite happy. But in the end, right now, it's essentially we're one store that people have to come to and put a mask on to come in and buy products. So people are still staying home a lot.
Yeah.
So we're not getting the traffic, I think, if we would have had things open and people.
Were you closed down the whole time, or did you have to wait till like phase 1 or something to open up? Or were
No,
you open the whole
we
time?
closed. We basically followed the model that people were. We followed the instructions from all the other distilleries,
Yep.
and also the LCBO, what they were doing. We shut down tasting completely, and we put all the safeguards in. And I spent a lot of time wiping down every time someone came in and
Yeah.
left, I would wipe down the door handle we had lots of
Lysol
hand
and stuff,
sanitizer.
yeah.
We had lots of hand
That's
sanitizer.
right. Yeah, hand sanitizer.
And so we were following all the protocols and that, but now we're just finding that there's not as many people coming out, and they want to stop at the LCBO as well as the other place in town that sells
And
spirits.
are you the only one there, or is there other employees there too working with you, or like do you have
It's
staff?
mostly myself,
Okay.
and I've got a few other employees that come in and give me a break, like
You
today.
need a break, yes.
Like today.
Like today.
So were they impacted at all? Did any of them kind of lost their job for a little bit, or did you keep everyone employed and busy?
Well, I'm a new business in the first year, so
Yeah.
things are fluctuating, and they know
That must
that
be
anyways.
pretty hard.
Yeah.
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 And so tell us where your business is. I'm sure there's a lot of here that maybe not even heard where you are.
Oh, so I'm across from the Irving Big Stop in Pembroke.
Yep.
It used to be the Pembroke Welcome Center,
Yep.
so the information center. Unfortunately, there's still a big sign with a question mark out front, which confuses a lot of people. And we get a lot of people in there asking for information,
Yeah.
and I usually sell them vodka or whiskey.
Exactly. That's
that's
a good
awesome.
problem to have, actually.
But we have a lot of people that are going by and they don't know that we're not the information center. And it's
Yeah.
the local people, those are our bread and butter as far as
Yeah.
customers come, as they go.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure people know that, when the building starts, they're going to see there's a big change going on. But
Yeah.
in the meantime, we'd like you to come in because we're making new products all the time. And we need people to come in and taste them to let us know whether we're on the right track. So we do tastings 7 days a week from 11 till 6.
Yeah.
You stop in, we give you a small little sample of several different things, and you tell us which you like the best of.
Very cool.
And that's basically how we're going to make everything. So
And does the hotels help you out there too? Because like with all their guests, they can always tell them, hey, you need something.
oh yeah, they're great.
Because you're right there by 2 hotels, major hotels right
Yep.
there.
So the Best Western, they've got 4 drinks that are OKenny drinks.
Yeah.
cool.
I haven't been in it a bit, but that's the last time I was in. They
Yeah.
had 4. And then the Holiday Inn, they send people over all the time.
Yeah.
And they don't have a lot to do there locally close by. They've
Yeah.
got the Big Stop, and then they've
So
got
might as well
us.
drink.
Yeah. So we get people all the time. Silver Stick, there was lots
Yeah,
of
that's
people
right,
stopping.
yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Unfortunately, that was scrapped this year, so hopefully it comes back next year. So
One quick last question. Your new distillery, when you build it, is it going to be at that location too, or are you looking for a different location inside the Ottawa Valley to open, like to build it, or?
What we'd like to do is build it right in front, right near the main road, which is
that big open space there.
Yeah, and so the people will drive by and they'll see the front. It'll be glass, and they'll be able to see the stills operating.
Very cool.
That's really
that
cool.
would be cool. Definitely. So we do this all the time. Giving yourself a shout out. How can people find out about you? What's the exact address? What's your website? How they can find you on Facebook, things like that. Social media.
So it's 2 International Drive.
Okay.
And we're just off Paul Martin.
Yep.
And you can buy our product by ordering it online and coming and picking it up. You can order it on your phone as you're there at our store. And you can actually, we've opened up now depots, and we'll be opening up a depot in every community in Renfrew County and then moving into Ottawa.
Okay.
And a depot is a business that has a storefront. And when you order it, you say you want your product sent to that store.
Very cool.
So you've already paid for it online, so then you can pick it up there.
Yeah.
So
you got one in Petawawa right now?
Yeah. So the Petawawa SO was our first. They're our guinea pig. So we've got everything sorted out there. And we're going to be opening one in Renfrew next weekend.
Okay.
And that would be the warehouse. And the warehouse is, if you know the warehouse, they sell party supplies, the best ice and the lowest price ice, I believe, in the county, they tell me. And they share a parking lot with the local grocery store.
Okay.
Oh, neat.
And your website quickly, because I know we're running out of time here.
It's OKenny.ca.
OKenny.ca. So I'm glad you came on, because I've been wanting to get you on here for a long time, because I want to promote your business as much as we can. I like his product. I think everybody else will like it.
Yeah, I actually really enjoyed it, and I still can't get over how smooth it is and good tasting that was.
We're going to be finishing those glasses as soon as we're off the air, I'm sure.
Well, Andrew, thanks for coming on the show.